I have to interrupt you again. See, we want to know how all this began. This plan to spend a lifetime together. See, I'm awfully interested in how big things like that begin. Well, you all know how it is. You're 21, 22. Any of you make some decision, and whoosh! You're 70. You've been a lawyer for 50 years, and that gray-haired lady sitting by your side, she's eaten more than 50,000 meals. How do such things begin? Well, George and Emily are going to show you now the conversation they had when they knew, as the saying goes, they were meant for each other. But before they do that, I want you to try and remember to think back real hard to when you were first in love. When you were like that of a person sleepwalking. And you didn't quite see the street that you walked in. And you didn't quite hear the things that were said to you. You're just a little bit crazy. Please, remember that. Now, they'll be coming out of high school at 2 o'clock. And, as this is June, George has just been elected senior president of this class. Emily, secretary of the treasury. Here they coming down Main Street now.
I can't believe we gotta go home. Goodbye. Oh, Ernestine, can you come over tonight and do that? Isn't that sister the worst thing? We'll tell your mother you have to. Goodbye. Goodbye, Helen. Goodbye, friend.
Emily, can I carry your books home for you?
Why, yes. Thank you.
Excuse me 1 minute, Emily, will you? Say, Bob, if I'm a little late, go ahead and start practice. And give her some long highlights.
Oh, goodbye, Lizzie.
Oh, goodbye. I'm awful glad you were elected too, Emily.
Thank you.
Emily, why are you mad at me?
I'm not mad at you.
Well, you've been treating me so funnily.
Well, since you asked me, I might as well say it right out. George? Oh, goodbye, Miss Cochran.
Goodbye, Miss Harker. What is it?
I don't like the whole changes come over you in the last year. I'm sorry if it hurts you, but I just got to tell the truth and shame the devil.
Change? What do you mean?
Well, up to a year ago, I used to like you a lot. And I used to watch you while you did everything because we've been friends so long. And then you began spending all your time at baseball. And you never stopped to speak to anybody anymore. Not to really speak. Not even to your own family you didn't. And George, it's a fact. Ever since you've been elected captain, you got awful stuck-up and conceited. And all the girls say so. And I heard you can't say it. But I got to agree with you a little because it's true.
Well, gosh, Emily. I never thought such a thing was happening to me. I guess it's hard for a fella not to have some faults creep into his character.
Well, I think a man ought to be perfect. And I think he should be.
Well, I hardly think it's possible to be perfect, Emily.
Well, my father's perfect. And as far as I can see, your father is. There's no reason on earth why you shouldn't be too.
I feel it's the other way around. That men aren't actually good, but women are.
Well, you might as well know right now that I'm not perfect. It's not easy for a girl to be perfect as a man because, well, we girls are more nervous. Oh, no, I'm sorry to all that about you. I don't know what made you say it.
Emily?
I know I can see it's not the truth at all, and I suddenly feel it's not important anyway.
Emily, would you like to have an ice cream soda or something before you go home?
Well, thank you. I would.
Hello, Stu. How are you? Good afternoon, Mrs. Lovern.
Well, hello, George. Hello, Emily. What do you have? Emily, what should you cry about?
She got an awful scare, Mr. Morgan. That Harker store wagon almost ran her over. Everybody says Tom Huggins drives like crazy.
You look all shook up. Let me get you a drink of water. I tell you gotta look both ways before you cross Main Street these days. Gifts first every year. Well, what do you have?
I want strawberry frosting, Mr. Morgan.
No, Emily. Have a strawberry soda with me.
Well,
2 strawberry ice cream sodas, Mr. Morgan.
2 strawberry ice cream sodas. Yes, sir. Coming right up. I want to tell you, there are 225 horses in Grover's Corners this minute I'm talking to you. State inspector was in here yesterday. And now they're going to bring in automobiles. I tell you, the best thing to do is just stay home. But I can remember when dogs used to sleep in the middle of the street all day and nothing ever come to disturb them. Well, there you are. Oh, Miss Alice.
you're so expensive.
No, don't you think of that, Emily. We're celebrating our election. And then, do you know what else I'm celebrating?
No.
I'm celebrating because I've got a friend who tells me all the things that ought to be told to me.
Oh, George, please don't think of that. It's not true.
No, you stick to it. I'm glad you spoke to me like you did. But you'll see, I'm going to change so quick, you bet I'm going to change. And, Emily, I want to ask you a favor.
What?
If I go away to state agricultural school next year, will you write me a letter once in a while?
I certainly will. I certainly will, George. It certainly seems like being away for years, you get awful out of touch with things. Maybe letters from Grover's Corners wouldn't be so interesting after a while.
There wouldn't be a day when I wouldn't want to know everything about our town.
Well,
I know that's true.
Well, I'll turn this one as interesting.
You know, whenever I meet a farmer, I ask him if he thinks it's important to go to agricultural school, to be a good farmer.
Why, George?
Yeah, and some of them say it's even a waste of time. Why, sure, you can learn all that stuff anyway, in the pamphlets the government sends out. And besides, Uncle Luke's getting pretty old. It's about ready for me to take over on his farm.
Hi.
Tomorrow, if I could. And like you said, being gone all that time, in other towns and meeting other people, gosh, if anything like that can happen, I don't want to go away. I suppose that new people aren't any better than old ones. I bet they almost never are. Emily, I figure that you're as good a friend as I've got. I don't need to go away.
Well, maybe it's very important for you to go and learn all that about cattle judging and soils and those things. Of course, I don't know.
Emily, I'm going to make up my mind right now. I won't go. I'll tell Pa about it tonight.
Oh, George, I don't see why you just decide right now. It's a whole year away.
I'm glad you spoke to me the way you did about that fault in my character. You were right, except for one thing. That's where you said that I wasn't noticing people. And say you, for instance. Why, you say you were watching me? Well, I did everything. I was doing the same to you, all the time. Why, sure. I always thought about you as one of the chief people that I always thought about. And I always made sure where you were sitting on the bleachers and who you were sitting with. And for 3 days now, I've tried to walk home with you. But something's always gotten in the way.
Why, George, that's not funny. How could I know that? I thought...
Listen, Emily. I'm going to tell you why I'm not going away next year. I figure once you found a person you're very fond of. I mean, a person who's fond of you too, and who cares about you enough to be interested in your character, well, I figure that's as important as any college could be, if not more so. That's what I think.
I think that's awfully important too.
Emily, if I do improve, and I make a big change, would you be, could you be?
Well, George, I am now and I always have been.
Well, I guess it's an important talk we've been having.
Yes.
Wait for a minute, and I'll walk you home. Mr. Morgan, I'm afraid I don't have the money to pay you for all this, but I'll have to run home and get it. What?
George Gibbs, you don't mean to tell me that...
Yes, but I have my reasons. Look, here's my grandfather's watch, to keep, until I can come back with the money.
That's all right, George. Keep the watch. I'll trust you.
I'll be back in 5 minutes.
I'll trust you 10 years, George, not a day over. Emily, got all over your shop?
Why, yes, Mr. Morgan. Thank you.
I'm ready.